Hello, welcome to episode number 29 of Common Chaos Live with me, Christian Rauchenwald. I hope you all had a great morning so far, or a great day so far, depending on what time it is in your place, and a great week. Today happens to be public holiday in Germany. It's officially, I think, Father's Day, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, especially if in your country it's also Father's Day. And yeah, like as usual in Comic Case Live, we're gonna take a look at the different comments that I receive in my YouTube videos. There are not that many today. Moses Isaac, thanks for subscribing. Crow, just yeah, thanks for subscribing, and whoever else subscribed since the last live stream. I have to adjust those notifications, yeah. So they or stop the camera follow thingy. Mate Neumann or Newman, yeah. Thanks for subscribing. So yeah, so as usual, we're looking at the comments. Yeah, what else is there? Obviously, as usual, the usual disclaimer. I'm saying usual very often today. Everything that I share in this live stream / video, depending on if you're watching it now live or later as a recording, is my personal opinion and in no way financial advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it. And yeah, with that, there are not many comments. There are actually only two. So let's jump straight into it and push that magic button. So what do we have? Is 400.2. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's ended the comma. So to separate here, 0.2 pi much. Yeah, like I guess it depends, who you compare yourself with and so on. Yeah, obviously there are a lot of people out there that have more than 400 pi. On the other hand, you shouldn't forget there's like 8 billion people that have 0 pi out there. So like while pi has a relatively big user base with the official number being anywhere around 45 million, yeah, compared to a number like 8 billion, that's still a drop in the bucket. So consider it like this. So I personally would look at it like this. You have 400 pi more than 8 billion people on this planet. Yeah, so go and get and tell them, or go out and tell them about Pi Network to get them invited and have them use your referral code and increase your balance, but also help them join the network. And voila, you will have even more Pi, and you will have helped grow the network. Yeah. Yeah, and the second one from Yasid Hashim is when will they launch Bondex? It's probably on the Bondex video. Okay, Bondex KYZ video. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Like, so I'm not following super closely Bondex lately. I see that they're super active on Twitter. If we go on Twitter and search for, hide that by the way. Yeah, accept the cookies. Cookies for breakfast. Okay. Bondex app. Yeah, so if you follow the Bondex app, you see that they're super active and usually host a lot of live stream with with different people from the blockchain industry and crypto industry and also like business industries in general. Yeah. So while they're super active, yeah, in the app, it felt like there wasn't too much progress recently. I'm going to switch to share my iPhone real quick. So there we have my Bondex profile, as you can see. So while there's a profile and you can add your company history and whatnot, which I also have to update, to be honest. Yeah. And your education, and you can upload a picture and even a profile video, which I haven't done so far, other than your network screen and the Bondex credit card screen that doesn't offer any details. There isn't too much. Yeah, so you have settings, you have news, and you have instructions on how you can already buy Bondex. Yeah, so and they have the so-called Bondex nibbles, which are the update, but which are not specifically about Bondex, but more general news. So like you can see Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, other partners, blah blah blah. So it's more about crypto news in general. And yeah, so it's hard to say, like I think on one hand, it's a little bit discouraging that, yeah, let's switch back here. On one hand, it's a little bit discouraging that there hasn't been a lot of progress from Bondeg's side in the app. So in terms of like adding actual features that deliver on their plan to become some kind of like, let's call it LinkedIn on the blockchain with a mixed in freelance platform. So that allows you to offer jobs and people to apply for them and then to pay them through Bondex and so on. So it's on one hand a pity that there is no progress visible, at least in that direction. On the other hand, the app doesn't contain any advertising. Yeah, so it's not like, okay, they are milking people for ad revenue or something like that. Or maybe, at least for me, there is no advertising, and I don't recall anybody mentioning ads there. And the idea is great, in my opinion. So like there are a bunch of freelance platforms out there. There's obviously LinkedIn out there, and all those platforms have their flaws. And one flaw, for example, from freelance platforms, if we, for example, we are using a platform called Upwork to hire people for specific tasks. And if they don't deliver, so like, for example, people say, yeah, I can do it in 2 days, and then 2 days pass and they haven't even started. I just end the contract and then I give them a review that honestly states, okay, they claim to do it in 2 days, they didn't do it at all. So they get like a 1-star review. And then if they got any money paid, so even if they only got $1 paid or $5 or $10 or whatever for the time on, for example, the onboarding call when you explained the task to them, the only thing they have to do is they have to just refund that little bit of money that they received, and they get rid of the review. Yeah, which is really, really bad, because it means they just keep doing that and keep accepting more work than they can handle. And then whenever they get a negative review or something that's, I don't know, below 4 stars, they just refund the money, and in order to get rid of the review. Yeah, and once they have hundreds of reviews, yeah, well, then they can also accept to have here and there a 3 or 2-star review in there if the amount was big enough so that they don't want to refund it. Yeah, because on average it will still divide out to 4.7 or something like that. So when you look at their profile, you're like, yay, that's super great. And Bondex obviously could solve that, because everything should supposedly happen on the blockchain, which means that then, okay, you give somebody a negative review, you might be able to update the review by providing a new one, but they cannot get rid of it. Yeah, so like that you really provide transparency on the marketplace, so that people don't waste their time with freelancers or others that just are not willing to do the work or cannot deliver what they promise. And the same the other way around, like, so on freelancer platforms like Upwork, you as a not contractor, you as the, I don't know, employer in quotes, also get reviews from the people. And so if you treat them badly, and if you have unrealistic expectations, or if you expect them to do stuff for ridiculous low amounts of money or so, you will eventually also get reviews that reflect, hey, don't bother working with this company or guy because this and this and this. Yeah. So, and then obviously it's harder to get rid of it as a company. But if you then would give the other guy a negative review, he would try to get a refund if the amount was not too big, and both reviews would be removed. Yeah. So, and I think Bondex addresses that issue very well. And then also work history. So with Bondex, we would have the situation where we would finally have, like, I mean, it's in theory. In reality, it anyway will not happen. Yeah. Because as you saw in my profile, I'm going to switch back there real quick, just a second. Wrong button. iPhone, there it is. Yeah, this button. Voila. Yeah. As you see in my profile, it mentions my experience, which are the different entities that we own and to operate our business. And although it's not updated because one of them doesn't exist anymore, but there's another one that exists now that's not mentioned there and so on. Yeah. But I can just enter it myself. I can just say, okay, add new, and I'm gonna add a new entry. If it's true or not, it's a whole different thing. Yeah. So, and it's similar to LinkedIn, where you could tag a company in your like resume or work history and so on. Although, as far as I understand, on LinkedIn, some companies might have to, in quotes, approve or something, or could say, hey, that's not true. But who's gonna pay somebody to just keep track if other people mention the company on LinkedIn, when in fact being mentioned on LinkedIn would also get you more exposure? Because if it then shows you have 200 employees, when you only have 150, because 50 former employees or random people list you as their workplace or former workplace, well, it still helps you in some way. Yeah. So why would you pay somebody, hey, use your time once a week, once per month, go through the entire LinkedIn directory that lists our company as employer, and report those that are not working here. I mean, nobody's going to spend money on that. Yeah. And yeah, so when will Bondex launch? Sadly, no idea. Best place would probably be to ask on Twitter. Just ask them officially. Do they still have potential? I think yes. It's a little bit, yeah, a little bit meh. Yeah, it's a little bit meh that right now. Do we still have the buying Bondex stuff somewhere? Tokenomics. Yeah, it's a little bit mad that there hasn't been a lot of progress. In general, they still, yeah, have a great idea what they could do and how they could shake up the market. But if they will do it, if it will actually happen, is then a different question. It's also weird because they put a lot of effort into social media and interviews and all that stuff. But on the other hand, we see little progress in the app. So it's like, yeah, it's like I will keep pushing my button in Bondex every day, like I did for I don't know how long now. And if they finish the project and it becomes a success, I'm gonna be grateful. And if not, then yeah, it won't matter. Like I will not have lost much more than a few seconds per day. Just like with many other one-click-a-day apps, where some of them look super like, or a little shady, let's put it like this, where you think like, okay, that's definitely not gonna turn into a legit product, and suddenly suddenly you are able to sell that token, like with Alpha Network, yeah. Although, yeah, different matter there. And then other projects that look super promising, like what did we have? What was it called? There was a Sperax Play, for example, looked super promising, super professional team behind it, and super their own blockchain that they developed and whatnot, and a million other things. And then they suddenly just say, hey, sorry, the app will shut down and you will not get anything for the Sperax that you earned in the app, despite initially promising in their white paper, okay, at some point you will be able to convert those in-app things into the real token, yeah. So it goes both ways. It's hard to say which of those projects will pull through, which of them even plan to pull through, yeah. But it's definitely, in my opinion, it doesn't hurt. Like, I mean, I personally have, I don't know how many apps. So like, I'm gonna, yeah, can we see that here? So I have Alpha Network, Bondex, Eagle Network, Ember Fund, Coin App, Spotter, CoinX, Ant Network, blah blah blah. Obviously, Pi Network, B Network, Upland, Eagle Network, Star Network, and then some other things that are also one-click a day, like Crypto.com, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and so on. So, and then Honeygain, the daily draw, and so on. So I have like, I don't know, I lost count while I was counting. Yeah, but I have a bunch of those apps, and I just once per day go through all of them. And if I get some monetary gain out of it or value out of one of them, great, I'm going to be happy about it. And if some of them turn out, Midoin, for example, still pushing the button there, although I'm from the beginning a strong believer into this project, it's a waste of time, but who knows, maybe they turn it around. So far, over like past 2 years, despite claiming in the comments of my video that they are working on it, yeah, like they haven't turned around shit. But I'm still also pushing that button there because who knows, maybe they do. Maybe at some point they manage to. And as I said, 5 seconds opening the app, pushing the button, closing it, especially since half the time the button doesn't work and there are no ads, really doesn't take out too much time of my day. And on the very, very small chance that they get their shit together and actually develop a useful product or something like that, I'm gonna be happy that I did it, and not like, oh my god, why didn't I push that button? I missed out on, I don't know, $50, $100, $5 million. Yeah, you never know. It's crypto. Yeah. Anyway, like, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. There's also gonna be a Common Chaos Live episode planned for tomorrow. Then there are no on the weekend. Later in the afternoon, there is an episode of Daily Market Mastery on my Popular Investors YouTube channel. And in the evening there today is definitely no stream on Twitch because yeah, I have an invitation to a poker evening, so I'm gonna go and enjoy that instead. I hope you have all a great day ahead, or if it's already later in your day, had already a great day, and then hopefully see you tomorrow in another episode of Common Chaos Live, or in one of my other videos, or my other live streams.